Yo, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys for tapping back into my channel. I got a great guest here with me today, former University of Montana quarterback, recently at McNeese State. I got Mr. Clifton Mcdowell joining me today. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man.
How has things been for you, man?
Just everything's kind of different now. I'm not being on the same college schedule, so just working out workouts and running back home forward. Trying to figure out like it's different not being in school. Trying to
Yeah.
have a scheduled eating plan and stuff like that and the diet. So just getting into the real world.
Yeah, how has that been in terms of, how did you choose a place to train at? Did you know somebody? Like, what was the agent process? Talk a little bit about that.
Well, the agent process was kind of like, I want to say it was hard because, you got to figure out who's who and who's really NFL,
Yeah.
PA certified and whatnot. So as far with that, and it really, I asked around because, I've been around in Houston, trained with a bunch of guys, top level coaches and stuff. So they were able to point me in the right direction as far as finding a place that's going to really develop me and get me ready for the upcoming pro day.
For sure. Do you guys have a date for your pro day already?
Yeah, I talked with Coach P. He told me either the 1st or the 3rd of April.
Okay. So yeah, talk about that. You're doing Montana's pro day. Does that mean you're also doing McNeese's pro day?
McNeese doesn't have a set date yet, so kind of really the coaches got fired, so they got a lot going on over there. So, but I know with Montana allowing me to come up there and do the pro day, so that's all I kind of know right now.
How did that process go? Asking University of Montana to allow you to do your pro day. What did that look like for you?
Well, it was nice. I mean, I reached out to Coach Houck and Coach P. They welcomed me with open arms. With the relationship I established with them, I didn't burn any bridges or anything. So I was just real grateful, honored to be able to let me come back up there and do the pro day.
Yeah, that's lit, man. That's lit. I'm excited to see how you're able to do there, man. I know pro day's a big day for guys to showcase their talent, and you got a ton of talent. So I'll be excited to see how you're able to do. I might have to pop out, man.
Hey, yeah, that 4-5 pending, man.
Hey, okay, talk your shit.
You're gonna get there, slowly but surely. You feel me?
Yeah. Have you been? And so you guys have been taking. Obviously, you guys have been taking times and stuff like that. How's it been looking?
Oh, it's been looking good. We actually just did a flying 10 today. I flew in. Came in like 107. So that was the first day.
Damn, 107.
Yeah, 107. We still got some time though, so I'm still chopping at the bit. I came in it was kind of hectic at the end, not knowing if I was gonna get the year back and stuff like that. So I mean, that was kind of a late start because the dude I work out with, he was already there for 6 weeks. So
yeah.
You weren't too far ahead of me.
So I heard about that. Talk about that process. What did that look like? When was the first time you got word that you may potentially have another year? And talk about what led to you not getting another year.
Well, with the Diego situation, I played against him in JUCO, being at Kilgore. I played against him. He went to New Mexico military and kind of found out like my situation was a little different because I was a bounce back from a Division I. And your clock starts. So
yeah, the clock.
Yeah, and it's really only effective for like if you're a bounce back in the class of 2020, then you get the year. But if you're 2019 and you started D1, then you don't get it. But if you went JUCO straight out of high school in the class of 2019, you get it because your clock never started. So it was kind of weird. I was kind of not saying misinformed, but like nobody really knew because it was a new rule and they were adding stuff on each and every day. So whenever I found out I wasn't eligible, I just made that leap.
Yeah. Man, so you didn't get the extra year. Who kind of were you dealing with in terms of helping you get that process started and fill out the application and all that stuff? Was it people at UM? Was it people at McNeese? Or was it people you found on your own?
Well, it's kind of all over, I've been in college for 6 years and been to a couple of different schools. So I was able to gain a lot of not new, but like old relationships with other coaches that I established. So I was able to meet a lot of NFL liaison coaches, guys that are not really agents, but like have a foot in the door with the NFL teams and stuff like that. So I was kind of being guided through there with them and with the coaches at Montana, coaches at McNeese, even Coach Billy Napier at Florida kind of helped me out too. So
because he was ULM before, or he was Lafayette before, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about your journey through college football. You started at Lafayette. How was that, and what led to you eventually going JUCO following that?
Oh, it was nice. I came in. I was recruited by Coach Napier and DJ Looney, Matthew Powledge. He's the D coordinator at Baylor now,
Yep.
and I can't, Matt Bergeron. But it was nice. I enjoyed my time up there. We won a lot of games. I was able to get a ring with them.
Yep.
I traveled every game. I came in. I graduated early and enrolled up there. And yeah, they showed a lot of love, man. Because I was younger. I didn't. It wasn't really. I'm not gonna say it was already there, but my urge to play was just. I felt like it was over everything, But
Yeah.
I mean, I entered the transfer portal I think in September, and they still travel me every game. So I
Really?
mean,
You entered
yeah,
in September and still
yeah,
traveled?
yeah. I entered. It was crazy. I entered right before, like when it originally blew up, like right before COVID. Like I was one of the first names in there, and then it blew up, and then they still let me travel and stuff like that. And the coach ended up passing away, DJ Looney. He passed away at the
Ah.
practice. So that kind of, I don't want to say it wasn't no weird vibes or anything, but it was just hard to overcome being in
Mm-hmm.
that area situation and just having it replay in your head. So it was just felt like I had to find better opportunity, but my
Right.
GPA wasn't really all the way there, so I had to go juke shop.
Ah.
But yeah, freshman when you come in, I was a biology major, so
Yeah.
it was
And
a
you a high school kid too. You come from out of high school. You just wide eyed. You in
yeah.
college, and
I wanted to be a doctor, so
is that still the goal?
yeah. I mean, I transferred to psychology, so
Okay,
yeah. So I'm going the psychology route with things and being a psychologist, but
for sure. Um, so not to get too much into it, but so you guys were at practice when that coach fell out and
yeah.
tragically passed away.
Hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about that situation? What happened? Was it heat induced? Was it because of COVID? What was the situation there?
Well, I I know that he like had a heart attack. I don't
Mm.
really know what from and nothing like that,
Yep.
but he had a heart attack. The trainer was doing CPR on him for a little minute, and they were trying to like nobody really knew how serious it was until you doing CPR for quite a
Right.
while. It's like no pulse or anything, and like for a lot of guys, like when it happened kind of like everybody, all eyes. It was their old lineman was on the way to inside run, so everybody waiting for the big boys hit the big
Yeah.
man, walk all the way down the field,
Yep.
and he was leading the way, and one thing led another, he just fell out
Mm.
like right by the 50. So
Wow.
it was, yeah, that was a bit different. I never really experienced something like that.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
I
That's
always
that.
heard or seen the aftermath, but just seeing them in the action is just it was a surreal moment. But
Yeah.
I was able to overcome that, and I have seen counseling and stuff like that through
Hmm.
the university, and so I was able to overcome that, and that's when I found my way at Kilgore Junior
Were
College.
you were you pretty close to that coach?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
we literally talked the day before, and I was in his office. So he was,
Wow.
yeah, he was a lot of people's dads on the team. The ones that were like less fortunate to have a father figure. He was a
Yep.
real big piece. He was a big smile. He had big smiles everywhere. He had his little sayings we had before pre-practice when we were doing our stretch lines. And yeah, it was just a it was a surreal moment though. But
Wow.
yeah, I was able to overcome that and go to Kilgore and did a little year there. I went with my old high school teammates, my receivers. Both of them I gave 1,000 yards to. So I went
Okay.
up there to Kilgore, reunite with them
You were
guys.
just generous enough to hand them 1,000. I feel it.
Yeah, just it was in high school, that just some slight showing up, spreading the love. But
Yeah.
I went up there, we reconnected, we reunited, scored a bunch of touchdowns and stuff like that, and ended up. So with the rule, because I came in, the JUCO situation was kind of weird. Like they're gonna play their guys that been there longer, because it's their last year, and
Yep.
they were trying to get me to stay for another year. You know how the JUCO do. I mean,
Yeah.
but I couldn't really stay. If I stayed, I wouldn't be able to go back D1 because I had too many credits for me being a bounce back. So I wouldn't be able to
Really?
transfer. Yeah, that was the rule. Then I don't know if it changed now, but back in 2020, like this happened around COVID, so everything
Yeah.
was like we got 2 seasons in one at Kilgore. We had a fall and a spring.
Ah. How the hell
So
can you have too many credits?
yeah, that's what I was told. That's why I had to leave there and walk on at Central Arkansas.
Okay. So you get to Central Arkansas now.
Well,
What was the experience like at UCA?
it was kind of like I wouldn't say it was like a preferred walk on type deal because it was a receiver there named Tyler Hudson. I don't know if you.
Yeah. He went to Louisville, correct?
Yeah.
Is he in
That
the
was
league now? He's in the league now, right?
I think he might be overseas or in the Canadian League.
Yeah, it was him and Lawan. I remember watching them.
Yeah, Lawan. Yeah, they from Houston too. But I knew Tyler. We played against each other. We was in the same area. We trained together and went to camps together and stuff like that. So he knew about me in JUCO. I sent him my film, told him to put it in front of Coach Nathan Brown, and yeah, we was all good. We was all rocking. When I came on my visit. He was there bright and early in the morning. All the coaches was like, "Man, how'd you get him to come here so early? He don't ever come." So he was there like throughout the whole visit there with me, and then I kind of already knew he was leaving, but he was like, if they bring you here, yada yada yada, he gonna stay. But then it was like they brought me as preferred walk on, so he dipped. So, but I ended up still
Damn.
coming here. I ended up
Yeah.
still going there and earning my stripes. Bet on myself again. Ended up getting my scholarship after the spring game, and kind of prove that I belong and can make plays for the team. And ended up right before the season. It's crazy. I don't want to say it felt like death was kind of following me, but before the season happened, we had a dude on our team named Garrett Thomas. We actually started like a little hashtag GT23, well GT22.
Yeah.
Well, right before the season, he had passed away. Right by my balcony, he had fell off. I don't want to say. I don't want to. It was pretty bad though. It was a rough night. It was around the same time as my birthday. It was a birthday night. That's how, like I remember it. And my roommate actually went out there, tried to do CPR on him, came back in. It was real gory. I don't know. I don't want to say too much on it, but
Wait,
it was
he
real.
fell off the balcony?
Yeah, landed.
Wow.
Yeah, landed. It was pretty bad, but
What?
you know,
You go ahead. You go ahead.
it was pretty bad, but yeah, the next day, because they had brought the ambulance and the fire department. The only reason I knew before everybody, the team did, because they announced it to the team the next day. The
Yeah.
only reason I knew was because my roommate was the one that performed the CPR. He came in the room like crying, yelling, and yeah, so that was like right before the season. So we dedicated that season, upcoming season, to him, and ended up I didn't play much until like we were 2-4 at one point, and they needed a spark in the offense. The coach, I remember coach saying he needed a spark for the something different, change. So they ended up putting me in, and we went from 2-4 to finishing the season 6-5, I believe. And then we ended up actually after we had beat SFA, we ended up winning the ASUN conference. Surprisingly, it was like a bunch of teams lost and a bunch of teams won, and at the time Jacksonville State was in there too, but they were going FBS, so they couldn't even win the conference because it was a bunch of stipulations with that. But we dedicated that season to them. We ended up winning the ring that season, and I wanted to leave right after that season. Try to find elsewhere, to find somewhere that believed in me to come in and make a difference as a starter. But I didn't want to push my graduation date back, so I stayed until the May.
Okay.
So then I graduated May from Central Arkansas, my psychology minor in sociology, and then got to Montana there in June. Met with Coach Pease. At first, I was originally committed to Southern because I knew the coach from high school. He recruited me, Coach Dooley. He recruited me from high school at Prairie View. And, Prairie View, like right up the street from me. So I felt like I was going to be at home going to Southern. And then Montana was like, you got to come up here. I was like, man, it's a 9-hour flight. I was like, man, I've never been on a plane that long. I don't know, man. That's a long journey right there. So I was talking to my mom. She was like, you never know what's out there unless you go. So I was
Dude, your mom sounds exactly like mine, man.
yeah, she told me, she was like, you never know what's out there till you go. And I thought about it. I was like, man, I've never been to Montana.
Yeah.
I never been. I'm thinking it's gonna be cornfields and
Yeah.
some other stuff. Man, I got up there, like it was literally beautiful. Like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even step foot on the campus. Didn't even step foot in the facilities. Nothing. It was like the most beautiful. It felt like I was out of the country. Like it
Yeah.
didn't even feel like I was in America. But I got up there. Then I seen the facilities. It was like state of the art. It looked like UL, any other FBS that I went to. It looked, if not better, especially with the view. You know, the mountains
Yep.
in the weight room, but in the locker room, state of the art too. It's like compared to anybody's. But I got there and immediately I seen it was just like a player led program. Like I seen all the coaches were on the visit like with guys and stuff, chaperoning the guys, and you got players in there on their own working out, orchestrating the workouts. And I just looked around and said, man, I got to be here. I got to
Yeah.
be here. This is something that I could work with, you know. And then me already doing my research on like the past with what you guys done and everything, and I just seen it like they just needed a dynamic quarterback back there, you know, not just somebody that can make plays with the arms, but with their
Yeah.
legs too. And I just seen, you know, Junior and Eli and Keelan, all them guys.
Weapons.
Yeah, and I seen Cole too, but I didn't get to play with Cole, man. I was like,
Yeah, man, Cole.
yeah, I seen all them weapons. I was like, man, that would be crazy not to go here. Like I just
Yeah.
seen as soon as I took the picture and I posted it and it was like national championship pendant, I seen it already. I already seen it
Yeah.
whenever they came my way. They was already, I want to say they haven't lost, like they haven't had a season where they're lost. They always had 8 wins. I
Yeah.
would say they always had 8+ wins. I'm
A lot
like,
of
yeah.
winning.
I say, yeah, there's a lot of winning over here. I feel like I can make a difference up here. So, you know, I was still overly confident in myself. So I'm going to say I'm very confident in myself and my ability. So I knew once I got up there and got in with the team and, you know, earned my stripes with that team, I'd be able to go far. So
Yeah.
I ended up decommitting. It was hard. So it was hard because the coach was trying to get me for so long, like since high school. So I had to break it down to him. I was like, man, he was like, I called him. I really didn't have to say much. He was like, you went on a visit, didn't you?
Ah.
He said, you went on a visit, didn't you? I said, yes, sir. He said, so what does that mean for us? He's like, I'm
Y'all
gonna have
are
to
out.
take my talents up there to Montana, man. And he understood. He was hurt, but he understood. Cause I
Yeah.
mean, I guess he knows about it up there. Cause I didn't know. I didn't
Yeah.
know. I genuinely didn't know. Like that was just me not knowing
Yeah.
until I got up there. But once I got up there to Montana, man, it was just the rest was history. You know, we just went on a little run and a lot of history made, a lot of memories made up there. But and then at the end of the season, you know, I had a lot of during that season. I had a lot of family deaths and stuff that happened, and that caused me to kind of step up. My papa just had a heart attack after he had like a widow's maker, so he had a heart attack around like right when I got home type deal. So because they didn't go to the game either, and they ain't never seen me play because everything was too far, and he had to bring a bunch of machines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't really find out. I lost my uncle and my aunt, but I didn't find out about my aunt till after the season because they didn't want to bombard me with so many bad news at once. So that kind of messed me up, kind of finding that out at the end. But I was able to after that. Whenever they told me I had to step up and stuff like that, and you know, provide, I was looking to take that hype I had from Montana and go FBS, you know, and try to push myself as far as attaining my goal, which was going to NFL
Yep.
and playing FBS. And got to Temple, you know, got up there. I'm just gonna say, grass wasn't as green as I thought it was. Grass wasn't as green as I thought it was. It was a nice place though. I had a good little time in Philly, the little stint I did, but it was just so much stuff I had going on at home. You know, I tried to do one little more push and be far from home. You know, sacrifice, and but it was the stress and everything at home life. It just got a little bit too big, so I had to make the move that was best for me, which was going to McNeese and where they was taking care of me financially and you know, putting me towards the progress towards a master's, which was in criminal justice. So I ended up getting there. You know, they took care of me. For my first couple of months, they paid for my apartments, so I wasn't paying rent for like the first 3 months.
Yeah.
allow me to keep money in my pocket, send back, help my grandpa, because he had to go back and forth to dialysis and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
and they actually came to a couple games because it was only a 2 hour drive, so they was able to come and watch me play. I hit a Hail Mary in front of them. I hit a
Yeah.
I hit a bunch of things in front of him, so it was a lot of good. I'm actually glad he got to see me play. We got to take pictures, post game pictures. Last time we took a picture was like high school, so
Yeah.
it was really that move to make this was more for me. Getting the best out of college opportunities and making memories with my family. But and all in all, if I would go back, I mean, RP my papa, man, but I'll do it again. I'm just real glad that he got to see and experience me in college. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
but
special, man. That's special because, I tell people about that all the time. I'm from Oklahoma. My mom never saw me play in college. My mom never missed a game in high school, and she didn't see me play one college game. So I resonate with, trying to get back somewhere closer to home to allow older family members to be able to watch you. That stuff is huge, man. And I think a lot of people who live in Montana and Washington and Oregon who have their family come to the games often don't really understand the type of toll that can be on somebody like yourself or myself where you don't see your family all the time. You're not getting that constant support. I mean, it weighs on people for sure. So I fully understand that.
yeah, I mean, because my papa, he just passed away too, like right after the season. Like
Mm-hmm.
I had to do CPR on him until the ambulance came. It was a big, yeah, it was a big. I mean, life after college, it got
Yo, Cliff, man, you've been through it, bro.
it got real. It got real after college, man. But I know one thing: he raised a hustler, man. So
Yeah.
he always wanted to see where this journey would end and where it would take me, how far I'll go. So just been in the mud, working, working for him, living through him. He always with me. He's watching over me. So just
I
being
mean, my
able to.
heart breaks for you. Not to cut you off, man, but my heart is truly like just kind of shattered for you right now, man. You lost your coach at UL or Lafayette. You lost a friend at CA. You lost your family. Like, man, like I know a lot of times people can see what's going on with you and your situation and say like, "Oh, he's just scared of the grind. He's scared of this. He's running away. He doesn't know how to commit." But whole time I'm listening to you talk right now, and it sounds like you've had a lot of tragic things happen in your life that led to some of the decisions you've made, man. So my heart goes out to you for sure, bro. That is tough.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. I mean, as far as the commitment, I mean, I'm committed to football. I would say that, a lot of guys in my class, especially where I'm from, not even either not playing no more or they not even playing the quarterback position. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I feel like I'm overly dedicated to the game at the end of the day. But I mean, I'm glad I was able to go to each university and do what I did and make memories at each university. But that's kind of
Wow.
where.
So I want to go back to something you said. You mentioned your tweet about national championship loading. You hadn't even started a game yet. You hadn't even done anything. What gave you that confidence to be able to make a statement like that?
just the work, just the work I had put in through, once I went JUCO, can't nobody tell me nothing, man.
Yeah.
I wasn't taking no for an answer. That I say JUCO installed me with everything that I have today. It I already had it installed, but it kind of settled it in. Like if you can make it through JUCO and make it out, you can make it in anything, not just football, but life. Because I mean, you go through a lot of hardships in JUCO. I mean, with the hardship that I'm facing now, I mean, I could easily just lay down, not go work out, be sad, just sit in the bed and not really do nothing. But instead, I just, keep going. Rainy days don't last forever.
Yeah. Yeah, for
The sun
sure.
gonna, sun gonna show.
So so first off, you didn't even start the season that year. When did you kind of know and have an idea that the team could be special? Was it still when you were on the bench or I mean, you guys were kind of rotating, but was it still when you weren't the full-time starter or did you really see what you guys could be in 2023 once you became the starter?
I've seen it since fall camp. Since fall camp. I mean, that situation was as far as like where I didn't start. It was kind of like he was trying to find a starter and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But whole time, I mean, you can ask him, man. I was telling them from the jump. I was telling them from the jump. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was telling them from the jump, man. You give me a chance, man. It's gonna be worthwhile. I
Yeah.
mean, I just had been plenty of meetings. I didn't empty my heart to Coach Pease, man. I'm not even gonna lie. He know the real.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just begging for a shot to go out there and start. I mean, I bust my tail in fall camp, put out a good little showing outing in fall camp. So I kind of already knew. And, I was telling the guys the same thing. They were just like, man, when you get out there, you're ready to rock. So
Yeah.
they gave me that shot. I want to say Idaho State on homecoming.
Yep.
So after that, and we just went on a roll. Everything was in the wind.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. You go to the national championship, you guys play in that game. I think a lot of people kind of saw that you were a little hobbled late after the first quarter. Can you talk a little bit about what happened in that game to maybe, lead you not to be 100%?
Oh, it was the last play of the first quarter. It was the last play of the first quarter. I remember like it was yesterday. It was third down. I tried to tried to get in the end zone.
Is that the hurdle?
Yeah. When I tried to jump over, one of those things you could just slide, play the next play. But it was a big stage, a big time moment, big time players make big time plays, and I was trying to make that big time play. And I got hit in the leg, I got up, and I was good, I was all right. Then I tried to carry out a fake. It kind of got a little weak on me, but I tried to, I told Coach Green, I told him, he's like, man, you gotta toughen it out. I said, I got you. I got you as long as I can, man. I will say though that game would have went a lot different. A lot different.
Oh yeah. I think, and go ahead, finish what you're saying.
I was saying it would have went a lot different if I was 100%.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people feel that way too. And I feel like, obviously hindsight's 2020, so you can say woulda, coulda, shoulda, but I truly do feel like that game might have went a little differently had you been healthy. I think there's a lot of times that people look back in the game and, maybe they think you might have a running lane, you don't take it, and I think that kind of confused a lot of people. So I think understanding the severity of your injury can help kind of shed some light on understanding why in some of those situations where you had open lanes, you might not have taken them.
Yeah, especially that defense was like one of the best in college football at the time. So you got to pull everything out. You got to pull everything out. You ain't going to just be able to sit back there on them on that defense that we played. But, I mean, not going to take anything away from that team because that was one of the best, one of like generational teams.
Generational for sure.
So, I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from it, but definitely that game would have went a lot different. I really leaned towards the Grizz winning that one if everything was 100%. But
so there was a lot of speculation about you leaving Montana. I know we kind of just talked about it a little bit, but a lot of people were thinking that the starting job potentially wasn't promised to you going into the next season. You want to talk a little bit about what the true conversation after that season was in your, maybe not even in your exit meeting or whenever it was, and what truly led you to go FBS or even enter your name in the transfer portal?
Well, no, it was nothing with the coaches or nothing like that. And like I know I seen a lot of that on Twitter. I try to stay out of it. Kind of stay out of it. I don't let people talk. But it was nothing with the coaches. Like Coach Hawk, me and Coach P, we all got along. Like that's why they let me come back up there pro day. Like it was no bad blood or anything like that. They just knew I was telling them about back at home and everything that was going on. So I told them, I had to make the best decision for me and my family.
Yeah.
Even though it was a hard decision, it was a tough decision, but those type of decisions had to be made.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so I got one more question about the transfer in terms of going to Temple. If without giving it too much, if you want to get going depth, you can. What about it was not greener at Temple? You mentioned the grass wasn't greener.
Okay, I'm gonna say I remember they told me the rent was gonna be $550, and I paid $950.
Okay, strike one.
That's that. I'm gonna just leave it there.
Okay. So that was kind of like a microcosm of that was kind of a.
And it was like a dorm style. It wasn't worth $950. I'm gonna say it wasn't worth $950. It was Philly. It's not really spacious, I should say. Like Texas, like it's a lot of land. all the houses on top of each other. You know, you're living with randoms and stuff like that. It's no really school apartment,
Yeah.
but it was a dorm style apartment, and rooms were about like I don't even
Like
want
a
to say it
box.
was like yeah.
Did
About
you have a roommate?
No, I had fortunately I didn't. I didn't have a roommate.
Okay.
I
Were
was
you on scholarship? You were on scholarship, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay. Man, I don't want to get into too much of it. I was gonna ask what the stipend was, but
It wasn't 950 took a good chunk of it. It took a good chunk of it. Like I don't think I wasn't able to go back and forth from home.
yeah. So what
Yeah,
about like NIL and stuff? Do they have a collective or anything like that? Are they doing NIL at Temple?
not with me. They didn't.
Nah.
Nah, I mean not what they told me. No.
For sure. So what was that conversation like with the coach? You know, when you said like, "Hey, like this ain't for me, coach."
Hey, he knew how serious I was. I went up. We had workouts at 6:30.
Yeah.
I probably pulled up at like 5:30 in the morning. Waited
Yeah.
on him. Waited on him. He knew it was like yeah. He already knew the situation I was in too. So it was kind of like he knew it. Like he was referring me to other places and stuff like that. But I had already had my where I was going. You know, I was already set on what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
But yeah, he kind of knew the seriousness of it when I pulled up at like 5:30 in the morning.
You mean business at 5:30?
Yeah, yeah.
Ain't nobody waking up at that time for no reason.
Nah, nah. I live right across the street from the facility too, so it was like, yeah, he's here for a reason. So
Okay, so there was an epic showdown this year against you versus Sam Vidlak, the two former Montana quarterbacks. You want to talk a little bit about that game? And you guys won that game, correct?
yeah,
Was that the Hail Mary game?
Yeah, that was the Hail Mary game.
Okay, talk a little bit about that, man. Y'all used to be battling for the number one QB spot in Montana. Then you guys are battling in the Southland.
Hey man, that dude, I think he went to win newcomer of the conference too.
He did, newcomer.
But nah, he a dog, man. It was fun playing against him though. It was fun watching him. I was trying not to cheer for him. I'm trying not to cheer when he made it. I was like, dang it, just looking around. But I was happy for him in the back of my head. I was happy for him. I was like, look at him making those throws and stuff like that. But it was fun, you know. It definitely was a duel. Like it was a good game to watch. Like we battled all the way to the last second. So you could tell like that was the same way at Montana.
Yeah.
So we battled through fall camp. We were just two dogs trying to compete for the bone.
Did you guys talk after the game?
Unfortunately, no. He had to go. It was like I had got the second sportsmanlike conduct, so I had to leave. But I ended up trying to come back and look for him, but they was already gone.
You wait, but like I thought they took that rule out where you didn't have to leave they made you leave the field? Really?
Yeah.
That must be a Southland rule because I'm pretty sure maybe the Big Sky took it. I'm pretty sure they took it out of college football where if you get maybe that's just targeting though.
It's a lot of confusion with Southland. I'm not gonna lie, the Southland Conference got a lot of but
because the Southland is Northwestern is in the Southland too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had that whole situation last year, right?
Yeah, and they didn't. They canceled the season.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, so your season was cut short. What happened that led to your season being cut short this season in 2024?
Man, I had pretty much I had damaged my finger on my throwing hand versus Weber State. So I want to say the 11th play of the game, got it popped out of place at the bottom of the pile. You know, the guys trying to win the game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Popped my finger out of place at the bottom of the pile and ended up ran to the sideline, popped it back in place, went back out there. They didn't really, you know, it was tape, but it is only so much you can do for a dislocated finger. So, I mean, they did what they could, but at the end of the game, like throughout the game, my finger, because it happened at the beginning of the game, so my finger came out of place, I want to say like 4 or 5 more times after that. And it was like, finger was completely ruptured. So I didn't find out till the week after, because we had a game the next week. I tried to play that game. They told me it was a sprain or whatnot. So they just take my fingers together. My 2 fingers are here together. And sent me out there, and I was like, I couldn't perform at the level that I was playing at because, I mean, going into week 5 or week 6, I believe, I was a candidate for the Walter Payton Award, and I was number 2 quarterback. I had a 90
PSF
upgrade. So I was on target, you know, to do special things up there. We actually was ranked for the first time since 2015 at McNeese. So I mean, I didn't find out that I had needed season-ending surgery till after the game HCU
Yeah.
when I had came out. Like I didn't even finish the game, and then I ended up going to the doctor, and they was like, "Yeah, you require surgery to repair the tendons because they're too far. It was too ruptured. It was too bad to let it heal on its own. Because if I would have not had surgery, I would have still been recovering right now. So
Yeah.
I would have had. So I had to, bite the bullet. I was waited for the surgery a little bit. I was like, maybe I can, do a little something, try to throw. Then my finger was just like it wouldn't stay. It was like this the balance finger, so it wouldn't really, strong enough to really throw the ball or anything. But so I had to make the tough decision to take the surgery. This is my first time getting surgery too. So I wasn't even trying to really get surgery. That was my first time being under the needle. So I mean, it was different, but I just knew to stay strong. The recovery process was gonna be hectic, but I'm built for it. So I mean, now I got the stitches and stuff healed, and I'll be clear to return to like full contact in March.
Okay, let's go, man. Let's go. What does that really look like for you? Have you talked to any NFL scouts? Did you look at going to maybe a CGS? I don't know if CGS is invite only, or did you get any All-Star game invites or anything like that?
Well, I had I want to say it was a smaller one, but I wasn't even cleared to participate in it. I'm not even cleared to. But I had the guy that I work with at my training facility. He just left the CGS, the little bowl game they had. So I mean, I haven't really spoken with agents. I mean, no scouts. I got the coach number, Curry Joseph, QB coach for the Bears. And I got his number. He recruited me in high school because he was a college coach at one point at McNeese. And then Gerard Johnson, he's the QB coach at the Texans. He trained me in high school. So, I mean, I got some good contacts, talking to him, be sending him my film. But pretty much the pro day is going to be a pretty big thing for me.
Yeah. Really big opportunity, man. So I want you to give a message to a young Clifton McDowell or somebody looking to come up in the game. What would you tell somebody looking to follow in your footsteps to become a, college football player and potentially a professional football player?
I'd say college is the battle of attrition, pretty much who's going to last the longest through the adversity and who's going to overcome the adversity. And hard times don't last forever. As long as you keep working and keep your head down and stay focused and mission driven, your goals will be achieved.
Yeah. So one more thing. If you could go back and give young Clifton one message, what would you say to your younger you?
Patience. Patient. Be patient. That's the one thing that Billy Napier had told me before I left, like attrition is a part of life. And I didn't understand that until I went the journey I went. Going through JUCO, having to walk on, all that. I look back 5 years later, I was like, man, this is crazy. how words just matched up like that, just traveled like that. And for him to say that and then go through all I went through is just surreal.
Okay, I lied. One more. What destination in your entire, journey? Obviously, you went to a national championship with Montana. What destination stood out to you the most and why? What meant the most to you and why?
Probably Montana State. That was a good. When we beat Montana State, that was very fun. Seeing all the joyfulness and happiness on all the guys' faces, getting
Battle
revenge.
of the Brawl, baby.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a real fun game. Especially it felt like every game was underdog. So I mean, I know coming in that game they had us under, and we were supposed to lose that game, but it was fun. That one and Idaho. Idaho was probably the one that put us on the map.
Yeah, definitely Idaho, because I felt like nobody really knew what to expect before that.
Yeah, Idaho was a good game too, because I think we were ranked. They had us on the TV. They had us 12, but we was ranked 15. Yeah, and we came in, and they was number 3 team. So Idaho was a fun game too.
And you guys had just got a ranked win on the road before that.
Mm-hmm. UC Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just any final messages you got. Appreciate you for your time, man. Thank you for everything. I appreciate you for giving me your time, and I'm wishing you luck in your future journey. With your future professional career, whether that's USFL, whether that's or UFL, CFL, NFL, wherever you end up. And if you have any final messages, go ahead, man.
I mean, just keep stacking, man.
All right, well, that's the Clifton McDowell interview. I appreciate you guys for tapping in, man.